Hey guys, it's Nick, and in this video I'm going to do an updated FBAR filing video. I'm going to explain what is FBAR, who has to file, and what is the reportable amount and how it's calculated. And I'm going to talk about what is a foreign financial account and what is not considered a foreign financial account, and where does Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies fit into this as well. I'm going to explain some of these with illustrations to make them really simple to understand. And at the end, I'm actually going to file my own FBAR. So I'm going to go through all the steps step by step and show you exactly how to file the FBAR by yourself to save yourself a bunch of money from paying a tax attorney or a CPA to do it. By the way, I'm not a tax attorney or a CPA, so this is not tax advice. Do your own research if you have any questions. Let's start with what FBAR is and what it isn't. I see a lot of questions on this on my previous video. FBAR is just a filing to FinCEN, Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, with the Form 114 to tell FinCEN the balance of your foreign accounts in total if they are over $10,000 US. What it is not, it has nothing to do with the IRS, with taxes, with capital gains, with how much interest you made or anything like that. So I see questions of people saying, well, I didn't make any trades, or I didn't make any interest in these accounts, or I didn't have any income this year or something like that. That has nothing to do with it. All they care about is the total balance in all your accounts in foreign accounts. So here is who is required to file FBAR: US citizens, US residents, corporations, partnerships, LLCs, trusts, and estates. And here's an example they give. Matt is a citizen of Argentina. He has been physically present in the United States every day of the last 3 years. Because Matt is considered a resident, he is required to file an FBAR. This second example is a little confusing, but here it is. Kyle is a permanent legal resident of the United States. Kyle is a citizen of the United Kingdom. Under a tax treaty, Kyle is a tax resident of the United Kingdom and elects to be taxed as a resident of the United Kingdom. Kyle is required to file an FBAR. Tax treaties with the United States do not affect FBAR filing obligations. So even though he pays his tax to the UK, he still has to file the FBAR because he's a permanent legal resident of the United States. A lot of married couples are wondering how that works for them if they file their taxes jointly or they file FBAR jointly. So here it says you don't need to file an FBAR for the calendar year if all your foreign financial accounts are reported on a consolidated FBAR. That's for companies that have subsidiaries that they own more than 50%. So that's not a lot of people have that problem. Or all your foreign financial accounts are jointly owned with your spouse, and you completed and signed FinCEN Form 114A authorizing your spouse to file on your behalf, and your spouse reports the jointly owned accounts in a timely filed signed FBAR. So what that means is if you're married, you can have just one person fill out the FBAR for both of you if you fill out this authorization form authorizing your spouse to do it on your behalf. And it has nothing to do with tax filing status, such as married filing jointly or married filing separately. It has no effect on your qualification for this exception. So again, it has nothing to do with the IRS. It's separate from that. Now, everything I said on who is required to file depends on if you meet this threshold for your foreign financial accounts. And that threshold is a financial interest in or signature or other authority of over at least one financial account located outside the United States if the aggregate value of those foreign financial accounts exceeded $10,000 US at any time during the calendar year reported. So what the hell does that mean? It's very confusing, right? So I'm going to try to explain it now. So let's look at an example of how that might look like. So let's say you have 2 foreign bank accounts and 1 foreign brokerage account where you buy stocks and bonds and that kind of thing. And let's say at January 1st, 2020, you have $3,000 in one bank account, $3,000 in another, and $3,000 in the brokerage account for a total maximum value of $9,000. In this case, you do not have to file yet, as long as the maximum value of all of these accounts does not go above $10,000 within the calendar year. And I'm using US dollars here, but if you have it denominated in other currencies, you would take the maximum value of each account in that currency and translate it with one currency translation value at the end of the year that the Treasury provides for you, and I'll show you that later on how to do that. So let's just assume this is all in US dollars so I can show you this example. So here you are, January 1st, everything's great. You don't have to file because all these accounts equal $9,000. But let's say your stocks go up during the year, right? And now your $3,000 account is now worth $5,000. So now with your brokerage account worth $5,000 at its maximum, let's say this happens in June or something like that of 2020, and your other accounts are still worth $3,000, that brings the total maximum value of your accounts to $11,000, which means you are now required to file FBAR. But now what happens if after the run-up of these stocks, they run right back down, and before the end of the year, they're right back to $3,000 again. So now the total value of your accounts is $9,000 once again. So does this mean you no longer are required to file FBAR? No. It went to 11,000. That's the high watermark for the year. So you are required to file, even if all of these went to zero, you're still required to file for 2020. And now let me show you one other case of the high watermark that many people kind of get confused about. So let's say you're back to having 3 accounts with $3,000, but during the year, let's say in April or something like that, you moved $2,000 from your brokerage account to your bank account. So now you still have $3,000 in this bank, but now you have $5,000 in this bank and only $1,000 in this bank. And so the total is still $9,000. So do you have to file FBAR? Yes, because this 1,000 was at 3,000 before. So you take the 3,000 as your high watermark. So when you take this 3,000, add to this and this, you're now over the threshold at 11,000. So that's how you could be required to file FBAR, even if all of your accounts did not add up above $10,000 during the year. Just by moving money, the high watermark remains, and you could be required to file the FBAR because of that. Now, once you know the maximum value or high watermark for each account, if it's in a foreign currency, you have to translate it into US dollars. Now, let's say you had an account in Singapore dollars and the maximum value happened on March 3rd, 2020. You don't have to go back to March 3rd and see the exchange rate on that day and do the exchange for that day for the high watermark. All you have to do is go to the treasury.gov website and look at the posted rates. And so they give you the rate for December 31st, the end of the year. And that rate is good to use to translate a currency anytime during that whole year. So whether the high watermark happened on January 26th or August, whatever, you just use that one rate and use that for your translation for the currencies. So go to www.fiscal.treasury.gov. You'll come to this page, go to General Public, scroll down until you find Currency Exchange Rates. Treasury reporting rates of exchange, click on Get Current Rates. And so here are all the countries. So let's go to the example of Singapore and see what that rate is. Singapore dollar is 1.322. So for $1 you get 1.322 Singapore dollars. So if your account is denominated in Singapore dollars, you would divide that account in Singapore dollars by 1.322 to get the US dollar amount. And that's what you use on the FBAR form, US dollar amounts. So now that you know what the thresholds are for your foreign financial accounts, now let's define what they say foreign financial accounts are and what they aren't. So number one, it's bank accounts such as saving accounts, checking accounts, and time deposits like CDs. It's also securities accounts such as brokerage accounts and securities derivatives like futures or other financial instruments accounts. It's also commodity futures or options accounts, and insurance policies with a cash value such as whole life insurance policy. And last, it's mutual funds or similar pooled funds. Now, I see a lot of people ask if retirement accounts are included in people who have to file. And generally, retirement accounts that are self-directed like IRAs or 401ks, where you put money in and you have a balance that you decide how the investment goes, including Canadian Registered Retirement Savings Plan, RRSP, or Canadian Tax-Free Savings Account, TFSA, or Mexican Individual Retirement Account. So anything that's like a US IRA kind of thing where you contribute money and you decide what the investments are, those are considered foreign financial accounts, and those are reportable on the FBAR. But you do not have to file an FBAR for these type of foreign financial accounts, and those include correspondent accounts, accounts owned by a government entity, owned by an international financial institution, maintained on a United States military banking facility, held in an individual retirement account you own or are beneficiary of, and held in a retirement plan of which you're a participant or beneficiary, or part of a trust of which you're a beneficiary if a U.S. person. So what that means is if you have a pension plan in the UK where they send you a check every month, but you don't have a lump sum balance that you can direct to invest, that's a pension plan. And so that is not considered a reportable type of an account. That's a retirement plan of which you're a participant or beneficiary. Also, if you are beneficiary of a trust, you don't have to file, but the trust or the trustee or trust agent does have to file. So now let's talk about the things that are not considered financial foreign accounts and that you do not have to file for currently. Number one is real estate. If you own an apartment in Spain or a house in Thailand or something like that, real estate is not reportable. Number two is a safe deposit box, whether it's in a bank or just a strictly deposit box company, those are not reportable. And if you happen to have cash, whether it's US dollars or foreign currency or gold, silver, platinum, diamonds, whatever, and you stash that in your foreign safe deposit box or your foreign house or something like that, all of this stuff is not reportable. Now, what about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? What happens if you leave your cryptocurrency on the server of a foreign financial company that has an exchange or whatever in a foreign country? Is that required to be filed on FBAR? Right now, it's no, but it seems like that is going to be changing really quick. So I would expect by next year, it probably will be reportable. So here is a notice from FinCEN themselves saying, currently, the report of foreign bank and financial accounts regulations do not define a foreign account holding virtual currency as a type of reportable account. For that reason, at this time, a foreign account holding virtual currency is not reportable on the FBAR. However, FinCEN intends to propose to amend the regulations implementing the Bank Secrecy Act regarding reports of foreign financial accounts to include virtual currency as a type of reportable account under 31 CFR, blah, blah, blah. So you see, as of right now, it's not reportable, but they're looking to close that loophole very quickly. And so when is FBAR due to be filed? It is due on April 15th, following the calendar year reported. So by April 15th, 2021, you have to report the 2020 amounts. But you're allowed an automatic extension to October 15th if you fail to meet the FBAR annual due date of April 15th. You don't need to request an extension to file the FBAR. So in effect, the real date is October 15th of 2021 for 2020's FBAR. But I don't want to deal with all of that, and I make sure I file it before April 15th. So I'm going to file it right now. So go to fincen.gov, click on e-filing, and now it takes you to BSAE filing system. File FBAR now. Now there's two ways to file, with PDF or online. With PDF, you can save it and go back and upload it later. With online, you cannot. But I've been doing this for 10, 11 years now, and PDF has given me problems every single time. If you don't have the proper Adobe reader and the special reader that you can attach a signature to, it's all kinds of hassles I've experienced. So I do the online FBAR filing. So you put your email, first name, last name, phone number. Once you do that, click on Start FBAR. So give it a filing name, 2020 calendar year FBAR. So when you're done filling out the stuff below, you come back here, click on Sign the Form, and then click on Submit, and then you can save a PDF file of the whole thing, and you'll get a confirmation number as proof that you filed it. This report is for calendar year ended 12/31/2020. Amended, no. Type of filer, individual, partnership, corporation, consolidated, fiduciary, other, individual. Taxpayer identification number, that's your social security number or TIN. Foreign identification, birth date, last name, first name, middle name, address, blah, blah, blah. So this is easy. And down here, does the filer have a financial interest in 25 or more financial accounts? Hopefully you put no, because if you did, that would be quite a headache. Does the filer have signature authority over but no financial interest in 25 or more financial accounts? I hit no. This could be the case if you have, say, the power of attorney of your sick mother in Canada or something like that over her accounts. You can have signature authority but no financial interest. So that's one example of that. So if you are an individual filer, all you need is this section, Part 2. And if you have more than one foreign financial account that you need to report, click on this plus and it will give you more pages of this so you can add more accounts. Part 3 is for the same thing, but if the accounts are owned jointly. So if you're married, you would be filling out this section, Part 3. Now, Part 4 is you would only fill out if the filer has signature or other authority, but no financial interest in the account. Like I said, if you had power of attorney of your mother in Canada over her accounts, this would be the type of thing that you would use to fill out here, Part 4. And Part 5 is for information on financial accounts where filer is filing a consolidated report. This is where a company has many subsidiaries and owns those subsidiaries 50% or greater, so that they don't have to file a report for every single one of those subsidiaries. They file a consolidated report. So most of these are not applicable to most everyday people. Usually it's only Part 3 for married people or Part 2 for single filing individuals. So here you put the maximum value, meaning the high watermark of that particular account, like I showed you in the examples. what type of account it is, bank, securities, or other. So I'm going to start with bank, the financial institution's name, the account number, the address, the city, the postal code, and that's it really. And then you just add another one, add another one, add another one. So I'm going to do that right now. So I filled out all of my pages on section 2. I don't need anything for section 3, section 4, or section 5. All I need now is go down back to home, sign form. So here you sign the form and then you submit. Now submit. Okay, so it received my submission, and you can download a copy of your FBAR as a PDF as proof of your filing. So guys, that's how you file FBAR. It's not that daunting once you do it a few times, and you can save yourself probably, I don't know, 100, 150 bucks, whatever your accountant charges you. So if you got value from this video, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.